Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. Lewis from Unlimitedly here, and today we've got a bit of a different one actually. Today we're going to learn a little bit more about me and my history, and my journey from starting all the way in McDonald's, now leading up to running an agency that secures six figures for our trade clients. Now the reason why we're doing this is just so you can familiarize yourself with me, because I don't want people to think of Unlimitedly like this big brand that they can't relate to, but actually I want to put a face to that brand, and that's me. So let's just dive into it. So obviously Unlimitedly was founded by myself, and I live on the south coast of the rainy UK. It's miserable here 90% of the time, and I have a sharp IT edge. Now I'll get on in a minute what that actually means, but I've always had an IT background, basically. And so my first job, as I mentioned, was actually starting off at McDonald's in the kitchen. Now, it wasn't a glamorous job at all, but it taught me a lot about resilience, teamwork, hitting KPIs, customer service, all these different skills that I can now acquire into my own agency, and just life skills in general. I mean, it was one of those jobs that you expected to be horrible, so the only way was up. And so I honestly say this, McDonald's was actually not as bad as it seems. It was a bit gritty and horrible at times, but a great first job, because it wasn't great. And so, every job you have from that, you're kind of grateful you're not in the McDonald's kitchen. But also as well, it taught me so much about teamwork and providing a great service. And so I'm very grateful for that job, and everyone's got to start from somewhere. So I take no shame in starting off at McDonald's at all. And then I transitioned into an IT apprenticeship. Now, my true passion, is helping people. That's why I now do digital marketing on a bigger scale, because IT support is a great way of, working intimately with someone who's got a broken computer. But then I want to take it to the next level. And that's why I then went into Unlimitedly, because it doesn't matter if it's IT, if it's marketing, the underlying kind of ethic of being passionate for helping people is still there. I just do it on a bigger scale now. Okay. So I started off into an IT apprenticeship. I did IT support for 5-6 years. Then I actually went into my first marketing agency called Mirror Image Agency with my two brothers. Okay. We did this for around 2 years. The name behind that was because one of the brothers was actually my twin brother. We're identical, and we're always called the Mirror Image Twins because he was left-handed, I was right-handed. We always had opposites like that. So we called it Mirror Image Agency. Did that for 2 years. Learned so much about business, obviously it being the first business that I did. We did it for about 2 years and it disbanded because unfortunately my brothers didn't actually want to take that career path anymore. A bit of a shiny object syndrome, but hey, we all learned so much. And all the failures from this I can now take on board with Unlimitedly and save myself a lot of pain now. Okay, so I went back into 9 to 5 into IT support after that. Company unfortunately disbanded, and that's where I actually rediscovered passion with my own marketing company, Unlimitedly, and growing businesses. It going back into 9 to 5 really allowed for me to know what I was missing with my own business. And as I said earlier, I want to help people on a large scale. Okay, and so that's why I founded Unlimitedly. Focus on lead generation and revenue growth, purely on that. Okay, so a bit about Unlimitedly then, a bit about who we are. Now, obviously, I'm not going to founded by myself, not going to repeat myself, but let's start from left to right. I founded Unlimitedly out of a genuine passion for helping businesses grow. I'm not here just for the money. I know a lot of people will say that. I know I'm great at what I do, and that will produce a lot of revenue over the series of my life. But the reason why I do this is for multiple reasons. Being of the Christian faith, I believe I have a real calling on my life. Now, you are who you are. I am who I am. But, I feel like there's a bigger calling to what I do. Okay. And second of all, I know if I can serve people with integrity and do a great job, money will flow. I've never seen anyone that great at what they do become poor. That just doesn't make sense, right? And as well, if you look at top right, I know what it's like firsthand to be burned by shady agencies. Back in Mirror Image Agency, we got scammed by lots of people, promising results, didn't deliver. And that's why I founded Unlimitedly, based on truth, transparency, and results you can actually trust. Truth, transparency, and results you can actually trust. I'd rather tell you I can't do something. I'd rather tell you I don't know, rather than butter you up, take your money, and burn you. And so this is why it's all tying in. the past experiences I've had, my faith, my calling, it's all tying in to this company wanting to deliver a great service, but at the core of it, having pure servitude and transparency and honesty. Because let's face it, the marketing agency game is known for a lot of scammers. And so I hope it resonates with you that, hey, I'd rather just be honest. Okay, and I saw a massive gap in the building space industry. A massive need for reliable, high-quality lead gen. All you guys relying on Checkertrade, Bark, My Builder, My Job Quote, or word of mouth. It's just not good enough. Okay, as you're probably experiencing. And so the way we then serve our customers is through what's called the North Star framework, which is, it's a done for you lead generation system that runs like clockwork. Okay, I'll get on in a bit how it works, but the reason why we've done this is because we built it specifically for your business goals. Okay, so it's not just we'll give you leads. No, it's going to help you get where you want to be, whether that be scaling your team, whether that be just, keeping your team, having that consistency. Maybe you want to hit new areas of the country, all things like that. That's why we build the North Star framework. And so what it actually is, at the top, you have high converting meta ad campaigns. That's Facebook and Instagram. When the lead comes in, we have automations that automatically nurture and follow up with them, okay? Which increases the chance you'll actually win the job. We know leads that don't convert into jobs are useless leads. And then we actually give you a bit of software to actually handle all of these leads that we get you, because right now you're probably using a paper-based system, rubbish spreadsheets, or you just got messy text messages and emails on your phone, and it's just a horror story. So we tidy that up for you by giving you some software. Okay, and so the end result we give you is effortless revenue, hand delivered. So you've probably gone through this video, and I hope that you've resonated with something. Now, right now, you might be in a tricky situation where either the agency that you're with is not doing too good of a job, you're relying on these shared lead websites like Checkertrade or My Builder or, My Job Quote, something like that. Or maybe you're just old-fashioned and relying on word of mouth, which is great once it works, but most of the time it's unreliable. You're probably in one of those three buckets. What I suggest you do now is scroll down now, click the link in the description. That will take you to our landing page. And on that landing page, you can book in a free 30-minute strategy session with myself. We'll look at where you are currently, where you want to be, and I will personally give you free advice and value and actually how you can bridge that gap. Now, it might be that I think working with us is your best option. I will propose that. But if you're not a good fit, I will give you advice and value so you come out of that call having clarity and an actual understanding of your next steps. So there's absolutely zero reason for why you shouldn't be scrolling down now and actually booking in that call. Unless, of course, you're not an action taker and you're not serious about helping your business. But like I said, it's a no obligation call. It's free. And I just want to provide as much value and assistance and servitude I can on that call. So thank you for your time. Scroll down now, book in that free 30-minute call with myself, and I'll look forward to seeing you on that call. God bless you. See you in the next one.